Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Pokeball over here, and I'm here for a big one. We're going to talk about MetaZoo Games and whether it's going to succeed or fail, and all the evidence that we have to point in either direction. This is going to be a really fun one. Now, sit back, relax, keep your arms and legs inside the moving vehicle at all times, and enjoy the ride. Let's get into it. All right, let's get the disclaimers out of the way. Nobody knows what's going to happen. This is not financial advice. This is just me sharing my opinion and some of my experiences along the way. You guys have to do your own research for yourself and make your own decisions. And I'm also going to be honest. I'm the owner of PokevolverCards.com. I sell MetaZoo. I have a large position in MetaZoo. But this is going to be an inside look into how I can sleep at night having such a large portion of my capital tied up in MetaZoo products. So let's get into it. So I've been an investor for 8 years now, and I spent hundreds of hours diving into what makes a company strong and worth investing in the long term. What gives it the foundation that it needs to continue to grow over time and continue to become bigger and bigger and better. What are those fundamentals? What are those things we're looking for? With MetaZoo, there's so many things that we could talk about, so many little details going on, so much noise. We're going to stick with the big picture items, the fundamentals, the things that I would be looking at as a investor looking at a business for a stock, and whether or not I want to put my money in it, what that risk looks like, and what that long-term perspective looks like. What are the factors at play long-term, and what makes a successful company, what makes something a strong company. We're going to look at those big fundamentals, and we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of MetaZoo, TCG World, oh, this set did this set did that. We're going to dive into the big stuff, the stuff that really matters. Peter Lynch, Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham, they all say focus on the business fundamentals and not what the overall market is doing. So let's dive into some numerical evidence about what's going on with MetaZoo Games. So first thing we can look at is the core fan base. Is it growing? I've been tracking the Discord, Instagram, and Twitter followers for MetaZoo Games, tracking it since February. Instagram and Twitter has had an increase of 20% since February, and it's about end of May right now. 20%, that's pretty big in my opinion. Discord has increased 1,000 members to it's around 13,000 right now. I think this number is probably a better indicator of the core fan base. Discord, I feel like, is the more hardcore fan base, the people that want to know everything, the people that want every single product. I can't really think of a better indicator of what that core fan base is doing than the Discord follower number. If you guys can think of a better indicator, let me know in the comments below. But one of the things that they say is 1,000 superfans is all you need to be successful or to have a successful product. And I think we have more than that with MetaZoo. All the smaller products that they've made have been sold out quickly. And this is one of the things that people like to say MetaZoo has been doing poorly with, is that they've been releasing too many smaller products. They're overwhelming their fan base. People can't afford to keep up with buying every single product because there's too many coming out. But they've all sold out quickly. Magicast has 10,000 boxes were printed for Magicast, sold out in 2 hours. We didn't even know what Magicast was. It came out on April Fool's Day. All we knew was the picture of the box, what it looked like, and the description of the product was Metapoo. We didn't know anything else other than that, and we just knew Magicast used to be the name that of MetaZoo before it became MetaZoo, and that's all we knew. And it sold out in 2 hours, 10,000 boxes. So I think that this is doing MetaZoo is doing very strongly with their core fan base, and evidence of their followers is telling me that it's actually growing. One of the biggest things that you want to look at with a business is its revenue, profits, cash flow, assets. What's happening with the money? Are they growing? Are they shrinking? What does the money look like? Because the money can tell you a lot. With MetaZoo, what can we look at to figure out what these numbers look like? So we have main set products, and then we have smaller products. We know all the smaller products have sold out instantly, not instantly, but very quickly. And were mostly all direct to consumer. So direct to consumer, you have with these products, you have the expenses, which were creating the product, paying the artist, creating them, manufacturing the product, shipping the product to yourself, and then shipping the product out to the customer. All these were expenses, and there's more overhead expenses as well. But then you're going to get the highest profit margin with direct to consumer. So you don't have a middleman in the middle taking a cut of the profit. So those are going to be high profit margins. And a lot of the smaller products were all direct to consumer. The only one I can think of that wasn't was the Valentine's Day set started as direct to consumer, and then they moved it to LGS's, but they had a huge high profit margin on direct to consumer products, and we've seen a lot of those. Now the main sets, they always release a portion of it direct to consumer on their website, so we know about that. And are they selling all their products? So we know first edition sold through all of it, of Crypto Nation, Nightfall. So second edition and Wilderness are the ones that are still easily available on shelves at MSRP or below. Second edition they had up on their website for a while, and people like to look at second edition and like to say, oh, they took a bath on second edition, like they lost a lot of money. What actually happened to MetaZoo with MetaZoo Games and their money that they invested in second edition? What did that look like? Second edition, yes, they had it on their website for a while, but then everything extra that they had has been moved to distributors. Distributors took that, so the distributors would have paid MetaZoo. I'm not sure exactly what their contracts look like. It's possible they only pay when they sell it, but I don't think that's how it works. And so all that product was moved to distributors. So that means MetaZoo no longer is sitting on that loss anymore. They sold it all. It's all sold from MetaZoo Games perspective. They've sold it all. They got all that money back and then some, and some profit on top of it. So that's second edition, and that's the worst set that we've seen so far performance wise from MetaZoo. And I think they did the same thing with Wilderness. They probably have a little bit of product left on their store, but a lot of it's been moved to distributors. So most of the inventory, most of the stuff that was produced has been made a profit on. It's not even a loss. They've made a profit on it. They've moved it already. They've profited on it, and now they have the cash to put towards new investments in new products. So there's no loss there. I don't see any loss happening. They've, on their side, sold through it all and sold it to at least the next chain in command, the distributors. So they said they're sticking with first edition, 100,000 copies of each SKU. They're sticking with that 100,000 print run number. So we know that's stable. They're not decreasing that. They don't have any plans to decrease that. Now, where's that growth going to come in? That comes from the big box stores. So that number we don't know about. We don't know how many they're printing of that, but we know with Walmart, their first release at Walmart, they sold out of all of it. So they're probably going to be increasing the number that they put into Walmart for their next release. So that's where your growth comes in. That's where your increase comes in. That 100,000 is going to be stable. That's definite. And then you're increasing in the big box stores, and they have multiple big box stores coming now. You got eBay has its own products. You have Walmart, and Target is now going to get blister packs. So there's growth. There is growth in the revenue and the profits, because they're making profit off of every single one of these, and they're all selling out. So there's really no losses in this process other than the overhead costs and the expenses, and there's no way that they're not making that up in what they're selling and their profit. So let's get into some other factors, some more subjective factors that we can look at. The first main, most important thing is the product for a company. And what's happening with the product for MetaZoo? The art, the design, the printing, the colors, the card stock, the print quality, it's all becoming better. It's all improving. And the core fan base, everything that they've seen, they love it. It's been an improvement. They enjoy it more and more and more, because all the things that they care about are improving. And there's these interesting things that they're adding with collectability and things that are maintaining that attention, and also increasing that attention and becoming more enjoyable. So the quality of the product continues to improve. Now, another big factor that I see is Mike has said that he wants 56 verticals this year in 2022 for MetaZoo. 56 different verticals. So this is products going into different industries and trying different things like skateboards and NFTs and plushies and Funko Pops and toys and all these different industries and products that are being touched by MetaZoo in the MetaZoo franchise. And this is another really big thing about MetaZoo, is it's a franchise, and they have franchise power from what I can see. When I was looking at the playing card Kickstarter, I wasn't too interested in playing cards. I'm not a really big playing card person, but when I saw the branding and the art that they used for these cryptids, I really loved what I saw, because these were some really strong branding arts of these cryptids, and really sold the brand of MetaZoo, and that was huge to me. That was the biggest, I think, success of that Kickstarter, is they sold playing cards to that many people, just decks of playing cards, and they made playing cards exciting, which is something that I didn't think was possible for me. So the franchise power is real, and when I see this guy, like, this is my favorite cryptid, but Babe is my favorite. And when I see Babe, I'm like I love Babe. I have such an attachment with Babe, and I think like they're just crushing it across the board and creating mascots that people can fall in love with. And when you have 56 verticals spreading out into all these different products, all these different types of people that aren't really as into TCGs, that don't really have their ear to the ground when it comes to the TCG space, they're gonna see MetaZoo, and they're gonna know what MetaZoo is. They might not be a fan of the TCG, or they might also find the TCG based off of this interest, but you don't really know what could happen. But the more people that see it, the more attention that it gets, the more profits, and the more people will buy it, and that's just a fact. And as a franchise, they're going into TV shows, they're going into Funko Pops, they have a video game in the work, like, and all these things, all these people that are coming from all these different areas, they might be interested in the video game, or they might be interested in the TV show, but not interested in the TCG. You have all these different things going on, all this diversity, and all built off of one brand. So when people hear MetaZoo and they know what it is, that's a huge win, because they might not even be in the TCG space at all. So that props up the company even more, and it's all these pillars that you get added to the foundation. Another big fundamental of companies is the CEO. So Mike Waddell, what I really like from Mike Waddell is one, the innovation, the passion behind TCGs, but also that he has mentioned in the past that he's very passionate about failed TCGs, and he's done a lot of research and collecting of failed TCGs. And you probably think, why is this important? Why is it important that he really is interested in failed TCGs? Like, that could be bad, because then he's going to want to make his TCG a failed TCG. But no, as a business owner and as an investor, you want to learn what is the risk of this company or this product failing. What is the risk of failure there? You want to limit that risk as much as possible. You want to be constantly looking for all the threats. What could possibly cause this to fail? And then the more you can limit that risk, the better your chances of success. And if you focus on the risk versus the returns, and you really nail down your understanding of the risk, the returns will follow. And I think that's a really important, valuable thing for a CEO to have, is to understand the risks to their TCG and to their product and to their business. Really understand that. And it sounds like Mike Waddell has been obsessed with that in the past. And I don't know if he's obsessed, but that's what I like to call something that's so passionate about something. They sank tons and tons and tons of hours into researching every little detail and understanding every single thing about it. And if he understands everything that caused TCGs to fail in the past, he's going to know how to avoid those, and how to notice when one of those might be popping its head up, and how to course correct around that. And that's super valuable. Innovation is another important factor that investors like to look at when determining whether a company is going to be successful in the future. Innovation is a way that a company is constantly trying to strive to get better. It's constantly improving, and so that if a company is doing that and constantly trying to improve, it definitely increases its chances of success. MetaZoo Games has been super innovative. They've been the first TCG to have an NFT, and with the NFT coins, they actually created a NFT that I've considered getting, where it has utilization to it. It actually has utility. There's a reason for getting it. You can actually get products at a discount with a special NFT label on them and special NFT products as well, and you get early access to products. So really cool NFT factor there. With this TCG, they're actually building like legit set pieces for the TCG tournaments, and they're offering big prizes, and they're going to make it a big spectacle and have these awesome set pieces and make it actually interesting to watch TCG games going on at these tournaments from home, where people actually want to tune in on these games because they have all these awesome set pieces going on around them, and that's really innovative. In Wilderness, they had the golden tickets and all these different tickets that were hidden out throughout the Wilderness product. So with each set, they keep doing different things and changing up the formula. In Wilderness, they had these tickets. We don't even know what they're redeemable for yet, the golden tickets. And we know there's not a lot of them, and that was super exciting to find those and be part of the community for when those were found. That is just another way that they've been innovating. We've also heard that they might be sending cards into space, which is crazy. Super innovative, and they keep trying new things, and this is something I really love to see as an investor and looking at companies' future potential for success. So all of that is really the concrete evidence that we can point to when trying to figure out what's going to happen to MetaZoo Games and how it's going to survive this recession and what's going to happen to it in the future. These are all of the things that we can look at for evidence to prove to us what the chances are of success. And there's also some other things when you're thinking about the future and the long-term growth of MetaZoo. Each set of MetaZoo, each main core set has something special that it does. We've got UFOs, focused on UFOs. You have the native set that's going to be focusing on native cryptids, and you have Yokai Island, which is going to be more Japanese, and all these different things. Every set is always going to have something different, and that is also kind of like those 56 verticals we were talking about. Each set has something that can draw new people in. Like, oh, I'm really interested in UFO, and I hear this TCG is doing a UFO set, and I'm really interested to check that out. Or I'm really interested in Halloween. That's how they got me. Really interested in Halloween. Every year they have a Halloween set. Oh, seance. Oh, let's check that out. And I'm super interested to kind of be a part of that. And so every set that comes out is going to be an opportunity for more people to come in and more people to become interested, and they might stick around long term. And then we also know that big box stores are going to carry more products, so that's going to increase exposure in the TCG, and people are going to see on the shelves and be like, oh, let's give this a shot. So that's another thing for the future that we know about is going to be happening that props up MetaZoo. Another thing is that Mike Waddell keeps hinting at this next phase of MetaZoo. Next phase. So this is more speculative. But if he's talking about a big push, a big next phase, I'm starting to think that he is doing another round of capital, raising capital for MetaZoo. He's trying to raise capital, and with that capital, he's going to put it into marketing, put it into improvements in MetaZoo, and this is going to prop it up as well. And he's saying this next phase is going to be big and is going to be a big increase in popularity. So I'm pretty sure there's capital funding going on right now, and he's getting more capital to prop up MetaZoo and give it even a bigger podium. So these are some big things that are happening that I think are also important to think of, but are not as big fundamental wise. So is MetaZoo Games going to succeed or fail? I think it's important to define what success is. So, and what failure is. Failure would be MetaZoo Games goes bankrupt. It just completely disappears. The TCG ends. They don't keep making it, and it gets forgotten about. That would be failure. Success would be MetaZoo Games the TCG keeps going, every set keeps coming out, and it doesn't stop. And we know that's Mike's plan, so we know that's should happen if MetaZoo Games, the company, is successful. So if that's our measure of success, and we know all these fundamentals, we know there's a high probability of success based off of all of this. But if you define success as bringing joy and happiness to your fan base and giving them something to be excited about, then MetaZoo has already succeeded, and it doesn't really matter where it goes from here. So I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you hear people talking about how MetaZoo Games is going to fail, or how much they hate MetaZoo and how much they think that it's a scheme or a scam, show them this video, show them this evidence, and just drop the mic on them. All right, until next time, see you all around.